Emil Guillermo, Emil Muck to you. Yeah, here we are. Once again, I'm standing in front of Benny Agbiani's number 50. Just as a reminder, I mean, first of all, this is a signed jersey, by the way. He is the greatest, maybe Filipino American to play a regular position, right? In the last maybe 20 years, I think, 25 years. Anyway, Benny Agbiani. A reminder that Prop 50 is coming up in California. Don't forget to send in your ballot. Hey, got a good show for you today. Professor Dan is going to be with us. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of stuff, but I want to do all the plugs early because, you may just be here for the plugs, right? Ishmael Reed's new play, The Amanuensis. We have a stage reading. We had the opening last night. It was really fun. It was fun. It was great. I was there with my sparkly sequin jacket. So that was a good opening night. We have a show tonight, Friday, 7:30, a show Saturday at 7:30, a show Sunday, a Sunday matinee at 3 o'clock. It's at Theater 33 in San Francisco, 533 Sutter Street, the second floor. Go up to the second floor. You might say, the Amanuensis, why would I want to see something called the Amanuensis? What is that? Well, H.L. Mencken, the great writer, columnist, essayist, out of Baltimore, newspaper man, he called Joel Chandler Harris an amanuensis, which means dictator, not dictator, a man who takes dictation. I got Trump on my mind. A man who takes dictation, a note taker, an amanuensis, which is not high praise, low praise, and a high insult to a writer like Joel Chandler Harris, who wrote Song of the South, who sold the rights to it to Disney for tens of thousands of dollars. And he essentially took stories from the slaves and tried to pass it as his own. Ishmael Reed seeks justice in this play. It's a stage reading, The Amanuensis. Joel Chandler Harris essentially put on trial. He is kidnapped by Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox, the character slaves who were used in the Song of the South. It's an important story because if you want to understand how all people of color are treated, you've got to understand the treatment of African Americans, not just in slavery, but post-Reconstruction, and the continuing lack of respect that they get. Song of the South, right? You can't find it on Disney because Disney's trying to hide it. But Ishmael Reed brings up the issue and gives the slaves whose stories and narratives were stolen their voice. That's why this is important. The Amanuensis is a stage reading at Theater 33. We opened on Thursday. We have a show tonight, Friday at 7:30, Saturday at 7:30, Sunday 3 p.m., 533 Sutter Street, second floor. Don't miss it. It's fun. And you get to see me in my Liberace best, I guess you could say, representing Las Vegas. All right, some other things that I want to plug right off the top before we get to Dan. FONS, it's Filipino American History Month. And FONS, the Filipino American National Historical Society, well, they're doing these Zooms on the 18th and 19th. You can go to the forums on Google there and sign up and register and get the link. There's usually a couple hundred people there to talk about Filipino American history. I was there last week. I read a poem. I'll probably post it somewhere, my poem, probably publish it somewhere, a poem, My Filipino Odyssey. But it's interesting because the Filipino American National Historical Society is the reason why we even have a Filipino month in October. That's what October, it's all our own now. The Latinos were September 15th to October 15th. And now it's all Filipino now. So check out FONS 101. Here's something else to check out. If you're interested in Filipino American history, me and Professor Dan, November 5th, San Francisco Public Library, at 100 Larkin Street in San Francisco, at the Horner LGBTQ Center. I mean, it's a nice room up there. No one knows about it, but I discovered it the other day when I was involved with another presentation of Theo Gonzalez of the Smithsonian. And I thought, hey, we got to come back here and do a podcast or do some kind of live exchange about stuff. Do our Emil Muck's Takeout. So I talked to Dan. He said, yeah, let's do it. So November 5th, 5:30. It's free. November 5th at the public library. Don't miss it. It's going to be fun. 5:30 to, last about an hour or so. LGBTQ Center, 3rd floor, free. Check the San Francisco Public Library for more details. And I'll talk about it more. Let's see, a couple other things. Oh, and then if you're saying, come on, Emil, is there more? Is there can't be more. Is there? Yes, there's more. Emil Muck Live, San Francisco Marsh. Not the podcast, not this thing, but where I actually tell stories. I actually talk about my life, your life, these days of our lives. November 19th, 7:30 p.m. at the Marsh, San Francisco. The San Francisco Marsh on Valencia. Not the one in Berkeley, but the one in San Francisco. So don't miss it. Don't you get to see me live? You say, come on, Emil, come out of your closet. Come out of your closet. Let's see you live. Let's see you perform. Okay, yeah. All right. It's not exactly Trained Bear, but it is a solo show. Emil Muck, 69. Or 69, Emil Muck. Why is it 69? I will tell you. You will not be hurt. San Francisco Marsh on Valencia Street, November 19th, 7:30 p.m. If you're watching me, there's all the things you go to get tickets. Okay, so there, we got a lot of things going. The big thing, though, is this. I think we'll plug the most recent thing, or the thing that's coming up, which is Ishmael Reed's new play. We should go to the news now. All right, let's go to the news. We're talking about the news, and I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned because in the show, I wear a sequin jacket, and the sequin jacket is, well, it was really very cheap. It looks fancy, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll bring up Professor Daniel Phil Gonzalez now to talk about not my jacket, but why I should be more concerned. Let's bring up Dan. Let's see. I gotta punch him up here. Here he is. There he is, Professor Daniel Phil Gonzalez.
Hello. So, it's got to be Friday, man. Yeah. It's got to be Friday.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Thank you for being. It's hard to believe that it was just a week ago that I celebrated my birthday and. And that was fun. Now we're into this new year, new cycle around the sun. All right, so I talked about the amanuensis last night. I had on my sequin jacket, and it's great. It's still a cheap jacket, but tariffs be damned. I am feeling the impact of the tariffs. The jacket I wore last night, and then I'll wear throughout this staging of the play, might have cost $29 a year ago. And now, because of all the tariff talk, it was almost double. It was actually double. It was like almost $60.
About 80%, 80-90% increase.
100%. Yeah. Like practically $60, which is, it's cheap. It's still cheap. It still says you're cheap, but it should have been cheaper. And so I'm upset with that. Dan, am I being unreasonable to be mad at the tariffs here? The tariffs are having an impact.
Yeah, the jacket speaks for itself. I mean, it's really pretty cool. And when you see the whole thing, in wide view, and they could see you tip to toe, it's pretty effective. Okay, so it's cheap for that effect. However, it is indicative of the greater problem of the effect of these tariffs. Mm-hmm. But somehow, how do you feel? I just don't think I'm seeing the correct response or from the general public. They should be really upset. I mean, not about your jacket, but about groceries.
Well,
okay, about
everything, the price of
everything. Yeah. The only stuff that's gone down or stayed flat is maybe gasoline. That's about it.
Yeah.
But everything else is still high.
And
the measure that they're using is the same price on this day last year, right? What was the price last year on this day? And it's all higher. Right. So why aren't they angry? Why aren't they more active? I mean, why aren't the No Kings rallies not only no kings but no dictators?
Yeah.
No authoritarians, no what is it? 7 great trillionaires?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think it is that people are just so used to just I'll just pay it. But then it adds up, right? And it's really a nickel and diming of the consumer, because you say, oh, that's up 10%, that's up 5%, that's up and then cumulatively you're saying, oh my God, why is my wallet lighter? Who just robbed me? It was
well. What about people on the low end? What about people that were already having problems getting decent groceries so that they can have meals at home?
Well, all right.
People who are living in grocery and fruit starvation deserts.
I don't discount them. I'm just saying that those of us who are fortunate to be able to kind of like withhold or have some kind of buffer, we got less of a buffer, and those who had no buffer or had some buffer had. If they got less of a buffer, they're closer to zero or below zero than they think. And so I hope people come to their senses, because there's only one reason why I my jacket.
Right.
And
this is one of those. Yes, you're right. This is one of those situations where you can actually point to the one guy.
Yeah.
And say it's all on you.
Yeah. Now,
he's got a support mechanism though. That is sweet, man.
Here's my secret, Jack. See, now in your days when you
is sweet. Do they make it in other colors?
Oh yeah, they make it. Of course, they make it in other colors.
If they have it in purple, I think
I bought this black one because in case I wanted to go to Costco, a little more formal. But the thing about this jacket is, it was regularly priced, really, at like maybe $29. You can get it for $29 a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and now it's double that, and it's only because of tariffs. And I said, oh, I'm gonna buy two. So I bought that one. I bought the tiger stripe gold one.
How long did it take when you ordered it? How long did it take for you to receive it?
Very, very quickly. Because here's the other thing. If you want to deal with China, you can't go China direct, because China direct will rip you off. And they'll say, oh, you don't like it? We guarantee the money or guarantee your satisfaction, but we'll only refund you maybe 20%. We'll give you we'll return, or we'll exchange for if something was broken. The only way to really protect yourself is by going, unfortunately, through Mr. Bezos.
It was an Amazonian contract.
Yeah, and because of, and now Bezos was trying to do good at the beginning, saying, I'm going to show you exactly.
I'm going to eat some of the tariff. Yeah.
I'm going to show you exactly where the money is going and how much.
I thought that was cool.
But that was cool. But then he got pushback from Trump, and now he's back with the other moneymakers saying, oh, anything you want.
That's right.
This is the sycophancy of America, as South Park.
Well, how I handled that is everything else that I can get elsewhere, that's where I go. So if now I can get it from one of the local stores, I will do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And also I'm buying books from the 3 national large digital booksellers.
Oh yeah.
There's thrift books, etc.
Yeah.
And so I don't have to go to Amazon for books anymore. And that's the way they got started.
Right.
They got started as a bookseller. That was it.
Yeah, I remember there were books. I said, what do books have to do with the Amazon? Except, are you getting the trees from the Amazon? And I mean, this is back in the 80s, early 90s.
Right. That's right.
Actually, middle 90s that I first saw.
The mid 90s was when Amazon really kicked off.
Yeah.
And I have a library to prove that.
Yeah, I know. And this is back when I was on CompuServe. CompuServe.
Oh my God!
You're not old if you say you're not old if you say AOL. You're old.
Bolton was still on AOL.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, this is the thing. With Bolton, I remember working in the government around, when was it? 1991. But this is when Al Gore was said to have discovered the internet, right?
I discovered, I was standing right next to him.
But yeah, I know. But everyone was sort of like weird about the transition, because everyone was now suddenly we had email, we could message. How do you use this internet? And when you came to using the internet and email with sensitive documents, I think people, they didn't get they didn't know. They had to gradually understand, oh, you can't do that. You can do that. You can do this. You can't do that. And I think it was kind of haphazard at the beginning. And I can see where people, if they did not get an orientation about what they can or can't do, although Bolton's smart, he should have known. But I think given what's happening between, given, Donald Trump's retribution tour, he's not, he's playing it to the letter of the law and trying to get Bolton on, this is kind of ticky-tack things, right? In some ways. In some, we're going to have to see it play. Bolton says he's innocent, but this is part of the retribution against his enemies. I think all of this second term is about retribution on people Donald Trump doesn't like. Bolton, the American consumer, China.
This is one of those times, once again, when Trump makes it easy for you. Right? Because it's really simple.
There's one guy.
This is retribution. This is an attack. It's one guy, and that's what he's doing. What makes it complex is that he's got to get the DOJ to play.
Right.
And so the top two are going to play, right? His AG and everybody else down the line. Including the investigations being conducted by the FBI.
Yeah.
So they're all going to play. The question was always, are there actually going to be people who bring it into the court and put their names on the freaking complaint, right? And there are, because they have facts.
Yeah.
In this instance, that's what distinguishes this Bolton case, right, from Comey and James.
Yeah.
Is that nobody was willing, except for Halligan, nobody was willing to come forward and put their name on the freaking complaint.
Well, it only takes one sycophant. Only takes one sycophant. You don't need a mass sycophancy. You just need one sycophant. Yeah. And Halligan,
Bondi and everybody else that have law licenses.
Yeah.
Nothing is this stuff is not gonna last forever. They're not gonna be protected, by a Trump administration, or even the surviving Republican Party, and even the right wing, right? They're not gonna get protected by them on an individual basis.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to the time when they lose their licenses. They are gonna get challenged, man.
Yeah.
At the state level for their licenses. Bondi may survive because he's from Florida, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and they got. Is the Florida the Florida Bar Association is the Florida Bar Association going to come after her license?
Yep.
I don't know.
But it really is it only takes one, and you've got one desperate sycophant who is willing to do it. That's all you need. And it's sad, but that's how this government works. It's whatever Trump wants, and then he gets his sycophants to line up and do his bidding, and he's got some buffer. He's got these people who, will do anything for him because he enables them. Pam Bondi would never have been U.S. Attorney General if it weren't for the beneficence of Trump. Pete Hegseth, he would never have been Department of War secretary. Never.
Yeah, well, here
You
you
know,
go now.
this is
Here he is.
they're paying back for their white affirmative action.
Well,
And
what they tried to do was say the press corps, okay, can only publish stuff that we say they can publish, and that was at the Pentagon.
yeah,
Everybody walked out. Everybody walked out yesterday.
yeah, oh
and,
yeah,
and this morning, and they walked out, and the only group that I know said we will abide by this Pentagon policy of restriction on the free press was OAN.
yeah, One
right?
America.
So yeah.
Hey, you figure
that was it.
You figure they would, and so
yeah, but even Fox walked out.
Well, because they have an ounce of integrity, and
I don't know.
And
that's
What America is just
that's pretty generous. Yeah. That's generous, Emil. Announce.
Well, I know some people have, just like the Wall Street Journal.
How about milligram? How about an mg?
Yeah.
You know, let's measure it the same way we measure our drugs.
Well, wait. I just think that
and vitamins.
You know, Wall Street Journal is conservative as heck, but they show some backbone every now and then, and they go up against Trump. I mean, on the Jeffrey Epstein letter, they're out there first, so they're just so much far further. They have so much more integrity than Fox, albeit in the end, because they like Trump, not so much integrity. So, all right. So, Bolton, we talked about Bolton. The news of the day. Well, first of all, let's go back to the shutdown. We're still in the shutdown mode. I don't know if we're gonna. It looks like
we're starting to hear noises from Thune. We're starting to hear noises from John Thune at the Senate that we can look at extensions, right, of the ACA and all that stuff. But so we're not going to hammer on getting rid of the cuts, right? And we're not going to hammer on that anymore. So come on back. I mean, he's kind of enticing the Democrats to it's your game, man. You got to open it up. And then in the meantime, we've got Johnson deepening his lies. Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable how far this guy has gone. He's dug so far. He's at the core of the earth right now, and
Well, the point is, if Trump can lie and get away with it, if he's gaslighting, everyone's gaslighting, and it's gaslit America. Is that really happening? Oh, that didn't happen. Oh, it's the truth is really a casualty here, and I don't know where.
Emil.
Yeah, well, yes, it's powerful, because we all think that we have the truth, or we all think we're going to hear the truth, but there's no truth. There's no truth anywhere. On the internet, there's no truth.
Prince of understatement.
There's no truth on the internet. I mean, you read something, you say, right now, I'll see something and say, did that really happen? And I'll check the date. I'll check the source.
That's right. That's the first thing I'll do too.
If I don't see it, if it's something from if it's something from like years past and they're like redredging a story, I'll say, okay, we don't need it. And then, but yeah, it's hard, and this is why an informed public is even harder now than ever, because the sources are so
because half of them don't want to be correctly informed. Half of the public,
that's true.
They want to be informed their way.
They
want to be informed in a manner that's completely consistent with their long established belief system.
Right? They're not even interested in the truth.
Easter Bunny and Santa Claus aside.
All right, so the shutdown is going to keep going. Let's talk about the week started with the big distraction, which was the hostage, release.
And the prisoner release on the other side.
20 hostages, about 2,000 prisoners and detainees. And
but Netanyahu is using the failure to return the bodies of the deceased hostages as an excuse for cutting the relief going into Gaza in half. Okay, right. So he's slowing it down, cutting it down in half. So he wants to continue the starvation.
Yeah, this is the thing about Trump taking he wanted it to be a victory lap, but it was more like a victory lap dance, and because only he got the benefit, no one else.
Well, but all of those. Did you see the EU? The whole EU showed up, right? And
well,
even
they're all
Eastern European and Arab states showed up and said, "Yeah, we got peace."
This is the sycophancy.
What did the Pakistanis do, right? You know, I am going to nominate him again for the Nobel Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize. You should have gotten it this time. I'm going to nominate him again, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Pakistan. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I guess that's going to rub Modi wrong. That's going to rub Modi wrong. Huh?
Yeah.
And I mean,
if it rubs Modi wrong, you got to watch out because his is bigger.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that when he's heralding the Pakistanis, our biggest allies, Britain, right? Starmer barely said, a few words, and Canada came up later, did not say anything. Right. It was not the Canadians and the Brits and Macron. I didn't see.
I'm actually reading a lot of their, their political news, and I'm looking at their academics, their university professors, their political scientists, because their analyses are really good. I mean, now.
Well, sure. Except you got to remember that some of the MAGA folks love that one right-wing guy who they, have made into an internet superstar. So you know what I'm talking about, right?
No. Right.
He was a Canadian academic, but maybe now he's not associated with a university. Anyway, so we have this situation with Israel and Palestine, and Trump thinks he's won, and now he's, this is the guy who is the isolationist and sold, part of his appeal was at America first, and now he's playing global cop. He can't help but play global cop.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how people are going to take to now. He's kind of messed up the Israeli, the whole Middle East situation, because it's not done. He did not solve the underlying causes for anything that for any of the things that we've seen in the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. We just took care of the hostage thing, and who knows what the next steps are going to be, even basic questions like security. So yeah, he's like a guy who's like flies in, puts his stamp and then moves on, but it's not done. The Middle East is not done.
It's far from done. It's a good half step forward. Okay.
Right. At best.
But if he keeps saying it's done, that means he wants to look at something else to do.
Well,
that his attention is already moving elsewhere. And so if it's not done and his attention's moving elsewhere, why would you count on this guy to actually establish a lasting peace? That's the problem. Okay. Yeah. The other problem is I've been trying to research how many people are willing to come out and say, because of all of the domestic activity that this guy has got American institutions, okay, either flailing because they're understaffed, horribly understaffed, right? And the CDC is not the only one, okay? Right now, one of the worst understaffed, right, is the Overwatch for nuclear defense and our nuclear weapon stock, right? They have now fired 80 to 90% of their entire staff.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we don't need them.
Who the hell's watching?
We don't need them. Doge says we don't need them.
Only one problem. That's only one area. So how vulnerable are we? Okay. I'm not gonna go freaky, but I'm gonna just ask the question: how vulnerable are we at this point? Right?
We are less safe now with Donald Trump as president going into 3/4 of the first year. I mean, he's not. Americans should feel less safe, less secure. I mean, we should feel less secure with Pete Hegseth heading up the Department of War. the world should feel less secure. And I don't know what's going to happen with the allies now. If they're the way they are kowtowing to Trump, it's
yeah, but the admirals are going to do more push-ups. You know, I mean, yeah.
No fat admirals. No fat admirals.
Was it
all right? So
was it? Was it Jordan Peterson? Was that the guy you were talking about in terms of Canadian right wing?
Yeah,
it was. Okay. It just came to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, no, I couldn't even think of him. But he's a big MAGA guy, or at least the young men who ascribe to MAGA really find him as their he's their Mr. Chips, right? They go to him. And all right, so the Middle East is a distraction for everyone, and yet there he is meeting with Zelensky today. Zelensky wants the tomahawks, and then Trump is going to meet with Putin again because nothing really happened in that summit.
Well, but he said there was going to be a three-way, which means all kinds of stuff to me. But he said there was going to be a three-way with Putin and Zelensky. And that didn't happen. No, he said that after Alaska.
Oh,
he said that was the next thing. And okay, so now he's already met with Putin. Okay, so you got to look at the sequence, right? He already met with Putin, so it makes his relationship with Putin look more important. He's meeting with Zelensky today. The question is whether or not he's going to give him tomahawks and how many. You know. And in order to do this well, if they really want to pose a real threat to Russian oil and Russian military, they've got to give them about 30 to 40 tomahawks. Okay, these are long-range missiles. And from my perspective, they're intermediate-range missiles. But from the Russian perspective, they're long-range missiles that can go way deep into Russia. Okay, so that's what he needs. Is he going to get that? I don't think so. If he gets tomahawks at all, he may get 20. Okay, but wait, there's more. They want to meet now. I'm sorry. Putin asked for a meeting following Zelensky's meeting, right? And they're going to do it in Budapest.
Oh yeah,
right? Which is like second or third best to Belarus in terms of being pro-Russia, right?
Yeah.
And Trump has agreed to that. Okay, so who's going to be the last man in Trump's ear or wherever?
Right. Well, that's what it is. It's whoever speaks to him last, because you can't trust Trump, and it's always like Trump is all taco, right? Chicken's out. He's got to be strong now. I keep thinking about what happened a year ago. A little more than a year ago, in February, right? When the Oval Office meeting that blew up, when Trump was saying that Zelensky doesn't have a plan.
You can't win. You're just killing your own people.
Right.
This is terrible. You're weak.
Right. It was insulting.
And then
it was in.
Yeah. And what's his name? Hervé Villachez.
Yeah.
Zeppelin. Mr. Vance came jumping in, right? With both feet. My God, that was awful.
So you haven't said thank you. You haven't said thank you.
That was what he said.
So but that's like a 360 from where we are now, because now Zelensky has tomahawks. I mean, this shows
Did he get
how
him?
crazy.
I want to know. Did he get him?
He's asking for tomahawks.
Yeah.
He's probably going to get
a couple,
but Trump has to figure out, well, I'm being nice to Vladimir, but I got to be tough because he's played me. How do I play him? And how do I let him know that I really, really love him still? I mean, it's really, this is as the world turns, man. It's as the world turns.
Well, I still believe Putin's got stuff on him. He's got stuff on him.
I don't know. That's a conspiracy theory. I don't know. Maybe he does, but
it's a conspiracy theory, but it's extremely well founded. Who is Putin? Putin is ex-KGB. That's the way the guy moves. Okay, that's the way the guy moves. Is it? He's like at least a third dan in judo, right?
Yeah.
So he probably knows some jujitsu as well. But anyway, Okay, he is this guy. He's decorated, man. This guy's experienced, right?
So
He's a
wait, but
fighter.
that doesn't mean
What
he
is
has
Trump?
something on Trump.
Trump
But
is
he can.
WWE. You know.
Wait. It doesn't mean he has something on Trump. It just means that he can play Trump and it can intimidate him.
Well, yeah.
And that's all. That's all it takes. I mean, Trump doesn't know what he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to handle Putin because he thinks that everything he's done wrong, Putin knows already because of whatever's satellite intel is out there. But Trump is acting irrationally, which again leads to greater vulnerability for our country to have a president like that in that situation. All right, so let's move on to that Hitler chat room. The Hitler chat room.
Oh my God.
People started getting upset, but no one really jumped on that story until Politico exposed it, and people kind of got on that story. But I'm a little
but they, the left got on it, but but it's because it's so freaking obvious, right?
Well, it's obvious, but
I'm interested in how the right responded and how the Republican Party in general responded by brushing it off and saying they didn't even criticize it. They said, "Oh well, that's not really us." Yeah, but that was it. I mean, that's not what real the rest of us Republicans are really about, right?
You know what it is? It's a Access Hollywood videotape all over again, right?
Yeah, I agree.
You got the smoking gun, and as you're waving it to the Republicans, they're blowing it off. They're blowing the smoke away.
They're blowing it or sucking it.
They're gaslighting. They're gaslighting. It doesn't really exist.
Stuck in the barrel. I think they've gotten used to that.
Yeah. Well, I just really, I thought, when the Access Hollywood video didn't do it and defeat Trump when it should have, you knew that anything else coming down the pike would have to be pretty good, or it would be the same thing. Okay.
When the Access Hollywood tape hit, I went to class and they said this guy could still win the presidency, and my students were aghast. They thought that there's no way. God, the guy said that kind of stuff. And I said, well, check this out. And I showed them pictures of women with T-shirts that said, Trump, grab me here, with an arrow pointing at their crotch. I said, there's what you're dealing with. That's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
These are not people who care about whether or not he refers to women's genitalia or that he could grab whatever he wants. Okay.
Yeah. And that's why his Republican colleagues try to mimic him with his long red tie, because the tie is the pointer that says, grab me here.
That's right. No. The real reason is, if you want to see the real reason he wears that long red tie, you got to watch South Park.
Oh, I missed that.
It's just that his genitalia are depicted as minutia.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, that's why it's a replacement. It's a replacement.
Yeah. In fact, he needs a very small fig leaf.
Yes. So we got the Hitler chat room is not going to.
Man.
It's a blip. It
Yeah,
should have been a bigger blip because it means there's racism present. There's racism present. This is white identity. The white identity.
I know, but people, oh God, it's so, we're so used to it, right? That even criticizing it seems like a sideshow, right? And what people should understand, this is deep, in the Republican Party. I'm not just talking about MAGA. I'm talking about people who think, I'm constitutional. I believe in Christ, and I believe in Jesus. I believe in the Constitution and all that stuff. But why can't I use the N-word?
Yeah.
All those rappers, they use the N-word all the time, And why can't I do that? It's a freedom of speech issue, man. Okay.
Right.
Why can't I call Emil Guillermo a chink if I want to? You know, I mean,
it would be wrong, but yeah,
well,
freedom of speech.
how many times were people wrong towards you about what they're going to call you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, what's
well? I mean,
when they explain I'm Filipino. What's a Filipino?
Yeah. No, I got you. I mean, this is the thing. But I think you got to call it out, because I think every time it happens, it just exposes, like you said, it runs deep. It goes into, it goes as far back as the Constitution. You don't have to go back, you can, I mean, this is the thing about doing this play amanuensis in the Song of the South. I mean, because it really exposes a lot of things about, how blacks are treated post-slave, not just slavery, but post-slavery. And the
Jim Crow.
Jim Crow. And really the insult is when the slave narratives and the slave tales were taken by a white author, and then he gets the credit for these narratives.
Yeah.
Joel Chandler Harris, Song of the South. So I think, I mean, well, so what does someone who is anti-racist, who is for equality, I guess how do we root this out? I mean, one of the things about this Hitler chat room, Donald Trump likes to use racism, right, or fighting racism to his, he'll hold it up as his shield, saying, I'm protecting the Jews in the colleges of the United States from rising anti-Semitism, right? He'll say that. And people say, yeah, go get them. We're fighting anti-Semitism. And then we have young Republicans in I Love Hitler chat rooms.
Yep.
And nothing is said.
Well, the only people that come forward with a criticism are, of course, from the left, center left even, but you don't see even moderate Republicans coming out and condemning it. It needs to be condemned outright. But when people see the criticisms coming from the left, that's expected. That's normal. Yeah. That's just everyday business. And they don't dismiss it, but at the same time, they don't give it much value.
All right. So when the right does not condemn the racism, then we can then say, well, the right is racist.
Yeah.
If there's no condemnation, if there's no pushback, if they're not, I think some people lost their jobs, but over this exposure of the Hitler chat room. But still, there was a kind of a recognition that, or a way to try to whitewash it, to say, oh, this is like college humor. This is not a big deal. It's boys will be boys.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what they did when he said you can grab them by the pee.
Yeah. So
it's just locker room talk.
Locker room talk. Yeah. All right. So one more, and then we'll get to No Kings. The Venezuela thing. What's going on? Trump is bombing these boats, or the U.S. military is. There's no active war. It is an act of war when the boats are bombed, but he uses the fact that these are drug boats as a kind of justification.
There's a gross rationale, and the gross rationale, without proof, is that these are drug runners. Okay, so if it's happening that frequently, don't you think that there would be ample time to be able to stop one of these boats? Okay, and then even if you're going to use a drone to blow them up, right? At least look for some evidence that there's dope being run. Okay, that's one. Secondly, right? He's doing this in international waters, right? Once again, and then isn't that a violation of using his military in that fashion when there isn't a threat? If they posed a threat, if they were shooting at Americans, civilians, military, whatever, if they were shooting at our close allies, right? Okay, then you might be able to see them using this kind of deadly force, but no proof of what he claims to be the real issue, right? On the other hand, they're financing them. And what is that?
What contradictions? We're giving money to Venezuela.
Yes.
And billions of dollars.
What is it for?
Well, we must be doing the bidding of the Venezuelans. Is that it? They can't kill the drug demons, and so we do it for them. Is that what's happening? Or
Well, I think in between is the possibility that there is cooperation. This is simple. Okay, so in return for their cooperation and allowing us to blow up these boats, right? We're going to compensate you a little bit. Okay.
It does seem like you smell corruption is there.
Yeah.
Right. Corruption is in the air, but what are we going to do about it? And because we're going to call the cops, but if the cops are in on it, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. It's totally confusing, and all that I see coming out of it is the likelihood that Trump is scoring points with the right, okay, maybe even with the left, for the drug war, the anti-drug war.
Well, it is a kind of a law and order thing, but it also is. That's right. It does remind you of something that Rodrigo Duterte did in the Philippines, which is very autocratic, very right-wing, very, these are, I heard the term the other day used, and so they are equivalent in a sense. They are extrajudicial killings. Extrajudicial. Yeah. Extrajudicial.
They are.
And Trump is now right up there with Rodrigo Duterte, who's up before The Hague for crimes against humanity.
Well, for me, the big news was yesterday. They said regime change. I don't know who mentioned regime change outright.
In Venezuela?
Let me see. Yeah, I can't. I had it up on my list, and then I lost it.
Regime change in Venezuela.
He wants regime change. Venezuela.
So this is Trump once again, who is the anti-globalist, the America Firster, meddling in yet another area. Venezuela.
Yeah. Well, he wants to demonstrate strongman, ability.
Yeah, but strongmen and respect other strongmen and butt out of things, or they involve Congress so that the American people.
Did you just mention butt?
But yeah, Congress is involved here, and Congress.
Well, Mr. Trump is rather large in that regard. Yeah. He got a lot of junk in the trunk, man.
Okay, all right. In our time remaining, let us talk about No Kings.
Oh yeah,
because it's a big thing tomorrow, and there's a lot of things happening.
It's supposed to be bigger.
Yeah.
Than June. I hope so.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what my wife asked, because we wanted to go. We got all kinds of conflicts though, because the Fonz thing is at the same time.
Sure.
Right. The Kings thing.
And the right is saying this is a Hate America rally, and they're holding some kind of.
And it's Antifa.
Yeah, and they're holding some, and the right is holding its own little birthday celebration for the military. Going to shut down I-5, or want to shut down I-5 down Camp Pendleton.
Yeah, that they figure that'll make it harder for people to travel to the rallies.
Because it's not like everyone wants to, like protests were right? America, and not necessarily for Trump, but for America.
Yeah, this is a Hate America rallies. That's what they're calling them. Yeah. And what did Johnson say yesterday? He said, "I will guarantee you that there's going to be some pro-Hamas groups there. I will guarantee that."
Oh.
Right? So there we go.
You think I'm big on the understatement?
Now,
I hope that people will go. I think it's good to go in a place that's safe, like San Francisco. I've got my play. My play's earlier or later at night, but I'm going to try to make some local. They're all over. Not just the big cities, but
yeah, that's towns. Right. In fact, in San Francisco, there's at least three different locations.
And I think
they're not all downtown.
Yeah,
there's one at the beach.
And I think because it's small grassroots, you just see that it's the cumulative effect, right?
That's right.
And people can say, "Wow, we're not alone." And this is the important thing: you're not alone. And if you see,
and it's not just partisan. I mean, it's everybody, and it gives people an opportunity to see each other as actual human beings.
Right. Well, that's the thing, meeting each other at a human level. And then you share stories, and you see who's out there supporting you, and you're not scared to speak out. You're not scared to tell stories and to stand up to the bully, right? To stand up to the bully, which is sort of the objective, standing up. Well, I hope it works.
Well, it's I've always said, right, we've always agreed that the demonstrations count, but it's the follow-up that really matters. It's people continuing the political pressure, right, on all sides. You got to get to the politicians, you got to get to the wannabe politicians. You have to be more careful about how you screen who you vote for.
Yeah.
Rather than just rallying to the partisan flags. That's about it. I mean, you got to listen to the youth too. I mean, the reason they want Mamdani is not just because he's a socialist or a socialist Democrat. It's because he's younger. Yeah. That's one of the major drives. Yeah. He's got 75,000 people or more door knocking throughout New York City.
Yeah.
And that's big time.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't seen anything organized like that since Obama.
Yeah, I think that's going to give us a lot to talk about on November 5th when we get together on our the Emil Muck's Takeout Professor Dan
at the library.
I mean, that's a nice room up there too. I'm trying to show this thing, and it's not letting me show it there.
I just wish they had better restaurants immediately, like across the street.
I agree. But 530 100 Larkin Street, San Francisco, the Horner LGBTQ Center. You don't have to be LGBTQ to be there. Third floor, San Francisco Public Library.
It'd be good to be an ally.
Yeah.
It'd be good to be a nice person and an ally.
Yeah. And it's free. And we're going to talk about the election, and we're going to talk about Mamdani, no doubt. We're going to talk about the 50 here, Prop 50.
Right. Yeah. And even though Filipino American, History Month, or it isn't just history, right? It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It will have been over. We will talk about how we're doing.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, the tail end of, I guess it's the very tail end of Filipino American History Month, but I find that it really doesn't pick up until like the 15th, once the Hispanics and Latinos.
That's right.
So if you want to, from the 15th to November 15th, is kind of like still some spillover, and you can talk about history, because it's history, it's not heritage, and there's a lot in history that people still don't know, and that's important to know. So Professor Dan and I, November 5th, San Francisco Public Library, we're going to record it for our podcast, but you can see us live. 100 Larkin Street, third floor, the LGBTQ Center.
It'd be fun to see you, so
Yeah.
please come out.
Yeah.
Particularly if it's easy for you.
Yeah.
If you're from San Francisco, you're in the Bay Area, please come out.
It's free too. It's free. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
You got all these friends who'll come to see you.
Get there a little early. We'll chat it up, and stay a little after, and we'll chat it up some more.
Yeah. It should be a lot of fun to be out there. So that's it. So Dan,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I keep saying, instead of no kings, I keep saying three kings. So are you going to Three Kings? Is that like the theocracy has gotten to my head? Oh, I'm going to Three Kings. Yeah, we're the gift of the Magi Trump, a baby with Satan, according to South Park. According to South Park.
A baby with Satan. Yeah.
Hey,
That's
hey,
right.
Dan, I've been walking up to the theater when I do this play that I do, the Amanuensis, the stage reading. It's in San Francisco, and it's up on 533 Sutter. And as I walk up Mason to Sutter to see the Amanuensis tonight, 7:30. Saturday 7:30, Sunday 3.
You parked in that Mason Street garage.
No, I take mass transit. I'm the people. I'm walking up, but here's what I'm saying. I walked right past that Pop Mart store, and now I know what I know what Labubus are. I know what a Labubu is. I hate Labubus. They won't sell me a Labubu. I said, I want a Labubu. I'm not going to give you a Labubu. Why not? You got to buy the box. Well, I want my Labubu. No, you got to. It's a surprise. That's the way life is. It's a surprise. I want to buy like 5 Labubu boxes to get the right Labubu. I want the right Labubu now. I want a Trump Labubu. I want a Trump Labubu.
Okay. Nah. You know, I stay as far away from those the kind of faddish things as I can.
Oh,
you know,
yeah?
I run in the opposite direction.
Oh yeah, you want to see my Beanie Babies? Where's my Beanie Baby?
Oh no, here we go.
Okay. Oh, I don't know.
Do you have pet rocks?
I know this isn't a Beanie Baby.
You have pet rocks. You have chia pets.
I'm wearing my chia pet right now. So no, where's my Beanie Baby? Oh my God, my Beanie Baby's not here.
You misplaced your Beanie Baby.
The Beanie Baby that I have usually around here in my COVID closet is not here. I
thought you had come a long way towards your radical individualism, man. But now you tell me that you buy that stuff. And,
I got a Beanie Baby, and I even bought a sequin jacket for my Beanie Baby.
No, that's cool though. The sequin jacket that's different. That's really different. Is it?
Yeah.
It calls up all kinds of different images.
It'll be my nightwear. Me and Liberace.
You know,
I could be.
I know. It's a cheap replacement for a tux.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it is.
What the hell?
I'll be Fliberace.
Yeah.
Fliberace.
That's not bad.
Okay. Daniel Phil Gonzalez, thank you very much. Thank you for being part of
Power to the People
podcast.
Power to the People. No king.
No king.
No king.
Very good.
No king.
No king. Say, College of Ethnic Studies, Asian American Studies, San Francisco State University, Professor Emeritus Daniel Phil Gonzalez. He joins us on most Fridays. All right, so Ishmael Reed's play, The Amanuensis, on Friday or tonight and Saturday and then on Sunday. And also, hey, don't forget, I'm at the Marsh, San Francisco Marsh, November 19th at 7:30 p.m. Let's see, what other things do we have to talk about? And then don't forget, if you're into Filipino American History Month, the 18th and 19th, they're doing a Zoom. The Filipino American National Historical Society is doing a Zoom. Go to the forums. Well, if you've seen me on camera, you see the link there. Just go to the link, fill out the Google form, register, go to that. That'll be fun. What else? And then, of course, the thing I do with Dan. We're just plugging everything. Emil, Professor Dan, November 5th, San Francisco Public Library, 100 Larkin Street. It's free, 3rd floor, nice room. We're going to sit around and chat and talk about Filipino history and talk about the elections. That's all on November 5th. All right. So we're back to the Amanuensis. We opened last night. It was a lot of fun. And it's a stage reading. But for a stage reading, you get a sense about the play. The Chronicle apparently has written about it. It was online. I think it's maybe in the paper, maybe in the date book section. But it's about justice. It's about justice for the black slaves who had their narratives taken from them by a white writer, Joel Chandler Harris, and then sold to Disney for the Song of the South. And using the imagination, Ishmael Reed, the celebrated, esteemed writer from Oakland, California, has come up with this play that gives the slaves who told their stories to Joel Chandler Harris a little bit of justice, a little bit of poetic, theatrical justice. So catch the play, The Amanuensis, stage reading, Theater 33. Go to theater33.com. It's 533 Sutter Street, second floor, San Francisco. Okay. Got to prepare for the show tonight. It's going to be a fun show. Hope to see you there Friday night. And then Saturday night at 7:30. And then Sunday for the matinee. It'll be fun. Should be fun. And so, we like to end these things with a little love, right? A little meditation. So, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time. Mahal Kita.